Hello everyone and welcome back to another Modern Otter video. This is episode 1 of the Forest VR with Zana Zane, aka Zane, aka my sugar daddy. So, basically this recording was fully corrupted and you can't hear anything. So that means you're stuck with me for the next 15 minutes. Aren't you so lucky? I know. Don't start flooding my DMs yet, ladies. I still have a video to make. Me and Zane quickly started realizing that the sun was going to be coming down any minute, which means nightfall, which means cannibals, and I was not about that life. Also, we were quite hungry, as falling from the sky starts up quite the appetite. Were we ready? Of course we weren't. So, as we marched forward on the new land that we would one day call our home, I talked about all the great ideas and all the great things we could do on this land. So much space, so many traps, so many beautiful houses, and the honest view was just breathtaking for a VR game. Zane told me that I had a terrible idea and should never go into architect, my dream. He told me that it was a stupid idea and we would be moving closer to the cannibals and closer to where the story lies. I cried and we went farther on. Alright, I'm back after a wonderful and such a quirky and relatable mental breakdown. Like and subscribe if you have mental breakdowns over your friend telling you you suck at video games. Obviously, I was heartbroken about the space and decided to argue and fight for the space. I worked so hard for that space, and then I turned around and Zane was running off. Come back, Dad. Where was he going, you might ask? Well, he was obviously going to do something amazing, something that would help our survival, maybe food, maybe water. Maybe he found something even better than the spot I had found. Maybe, just maybe, after this horrible plane crash and our son being stolen by cannibals and us left for dead, we might have just found some peace. But in reality, it was shipping containers, full of nothing. Shipping containers full of nothing. He told me it was a great idea, and we should both live in one. I told him he was out of his mind, and that I wanted my spot back. But this silly little fella put up quite the fight, screaming about, who knows what, about these shipping containers. I got distracted by a bird, and decided I needed to go after it, as obviously otters are the prime species. Like and subscribe if you also beat birds senseless because you like otters more. As Zane got closer to the shipping containers, I realized it was going to take a lot to convince him that these are not a viable home. There is nothing in them, they have no structural support, and they're just plain boring. He laughed in my face and started breaking boxes to find that there was nothing in these shipping containers except old, useless graphics cards. I was quite excited as I'm quite the tech genius. I have changed the HDMI input on my TV 3 different times. Watch out, Harvard, I'm on my way. Zane then spotted a silly slippery sea turtle and decided that it was going to become our new friend. I was so excited, so thrilled that I started picking up as many things as I could, and then I found the recipe for wine. Just kidding, it's shipping container documents. I was devastated. There was no recipe for wine. How else are we going to have a good time on this island? In my frustration, I ran over to yell at the turtle, which I found that Zane had decapitated it. I was heartbroken. I then jumped into the water, thinking, maybe this is the end. But no, I changed my mind. Timothy needed us. I was ready. We marched on. I grabbed Zane, pulled up my legs by the bootstraps, and was ready to march on to this amazing and once-in-a-lifetime journey, aka nothingness. This was the beginning of a marvelous friendship and a wonderful journey, and hopefully a lot of darn views. As I've just used the word darn for the first time in any of my videos, I'd like to take this moment of silence as there goes my channel, and there goes all my ratings, because who the heck says darn? We marched on, ready. We were ready to fight. We were ready for anything that came after us. Another word ending in ready. As we started walking, Zane looked up at the sky telling me that it was getting quite dark, complaining about the woods again, and I told him that no, Zane. The openness, the amount of possibilities that spot has to offer. Yes, we were still arguing about this, and finally, I convinced him. We marched over to the spot. I was filled with joy, excitement, and I could not wait to tell my mom at dinner. My mom did not care, so I decided to keep playing the forest, obviously. As I marched to the spot, ready to fill it with wondrous, amazing things, so many new creations, so many new ideas, it became one problem. Nighttime was setting way faster than we could stop it. Time was of the essence. I walked up to a tree, ready to cut it down with all my might, and began chopping. I chopped and chopped, waiting and waiting, and then Zane told me about the blueprint. He was gathering blueprints this entire time, not putting in any effort. I was thrilled, so I beat a bush out of frustration. As Zane got the blueprints ready to place down so we could have a home, I spotted a creepy little man. Yes, that's right, my first cannibal encounter. As you can tell, I kept my cool, not shaking, not moving. I was ready. I decided that he had some nice shoes on, and I wanted them. Me and Zane sprang into action, ready, because those shoes were about to become ours. Zane pulled out his lighter. Very good thinking. To burn him? No, but for style points. We beat the cannibal mercilessly. I don't know that word. Continuing on. We had won, and Zane took his teeth. I don't know why, it was just something to add insult to injury, I guess. And I also took his leg, until Zane beat me, half to death. I was bloody, I was beaten, and I was scared. And then all of a sudden, another one appeared. Another one of these creepy little gremlins. I ran out of the way, obviously, letting it jump at Zane to kill him first, because, obviously, this is my channel. I need to stay alive, or how would we film it? Zane beat him up effortlessly. Kinda scary. Seems like he's been stranded on an island before. We'll get into that later. I decided to start my first ever crafting recipe, crafting nothing but a spear. A weak spear, if that. And then, out of nowhere, it was pitch black. Daylight savings much? And then I remembered, oh yes, I'm an absolute Chad, an alpha male. Zane gave me some soda to drink to congratulate me on our victory, and I was ready to do whatever I needed to do in pitch dark. Was I scared? No. Was I shaking? Yes. Was I ready to fight anything that came my way? No. Did I know how to craft? No. Was Zane there right by my side? No. So, as Zane decided to gather more sticks and logs for the house and build a fire, I decided it would be very helpful to cook some food. Obviously, I'd eat all the food and Zane would soon starve to death, but that's okay. We're not worried about that. I had 15 rocks at hand, and I was terrified, looking all around, looking over my shoulder, nonstop, worried that a cannibal might jump out and try to take my delicious turtle meat. I decided that that's not happening today, bucko, and then Zane threw a body on the fire. L in the chat. As we cooked up our new friend to get some early on armor, aka bone armor, Zane told me about all the wondrous things he planned on doing before the plane crash, before all this happened. Like eat dinner, or pet his dog, or watch a movie with his family. As I ate all the food and laughed at him for, being a loser, he put down some blueprints. JK's in the chat, Zane. You're my boy, if you're watching this. Let's see if he actually does watch these videos. He doesn't. But if you are here right now, Zane, comment down below. You're a Chad. As I decided to build the house for Zane as the manly man I am, he decided to stand there in utter silence and talk with his mom. I, obviously listening in, confused, learned a lot of interesting things that night, aka 20 minutes ago. Like, for example, Zane doesn't know how to put down the toilet seat. Another L in the chat. These are all jokes, by the way, to anyone listening. Zane is an absolute gentleman and puts down the toilet seat before and after using the bathroom. He goes on the walls, like a real man. As the night got colder and we got hungrier, we continued to build the house thinking that we could sleep through the pain and sleep through the hunger. And then 2 cannibals jumped us out of nowhere. We fought and we fought for about 5 minutes because they were pretty easy. Day 1 cannibals are nothing. They're mostly just there to scare you. So, as we picked up more logs, we realized that our house was almost done. The utter excitement in Zane's voice was absolutely hilarious. I wish you could hear it. You cannot, which means he cannot back himself up. What if he wasn't talking to his mom? What if really he was sitting there singing, Barbie Girl? That's a lot better, I think. As the house only needed 4 more logs, I placed 2 more, and then realized it only needed 1. Man, misnarration by me. Apologies. Like the absolute Chad I am, I cut down the final tree to finish our house so we had somewhere to sleep tonight. As it broke, I thought about all the great things I was ready to do, placing this final log on the house. I thought about the cool decorations I would put up. I thought about the cool window. And then I realized, oh wait, I'm tired. So I jumped in the house, ready for a nice, amazing slumber, and saved the game. Waking up on day 2, it was more of the usual. We crafted some bone armor, made some new stuff, and got all geared up, because today is the adventure day. We want to see where we live, we want to see what's going on in this world, and we want to find out if there's any cannibal camps or anything that could cause us immediate danger close by before we can get a protective wall up and get some traps going. I then stepped into the fire and began to burn to death. I begged for Zane's help, and then he said, "Nah bro, I heard that funny comment you made about the toilet seat. You better tell the world the truth." I greatly apologized, and he revived me. So just a shout out to Zane for always putting down the toilet seat. I was then revived, very, very bruised and beaten, and decided I needed some food. Then I realized I didn't have any. I asked Zane. He also said he didn't have any. He was lying. He was stacked with food. I would find this out later. It broke my heart. Then I found some food, because obviously he was lying. Did you see that right there? He had a rat in his hand, fully cooked. He did not offer it, because Zane is greedy. Just kidding, Zane. Loves in the chat. As we decided to keep moving and collecting bones to get our armor ready for this amazing voyage, Zane told me that it would be smart if I crafted armor with him so as I would not get bruised. I think he's getting tired of carrying me. What do you think? The armor was crafted and we were ready to move on to our next great adventure. And then he told me some troubling news. Just kidding, you got clickbaited. That's right, our grand adventure will be in episode 2. TTYL, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed my narration style. We'll see you for our great adventure.